Yo, what's going on, guys? Chris Bonner here, Overtime Athletes. For today's video, I wanted to address something that I was questioned about within one of the videos that I was doing when I was training one of my athletes, Darius. And essentially what was happening was I was performing a series of static stretches prior to him actually performing some plyometrics and some strength training within the gym. And what I'd like to do is address why I followed a method like this and when you should use it. This is something that I don't normally do. As you know, I take a more dynamic approach to mobilizing particular muscles when it comes to my athletes prior to having them train, and more of a static approach, you know, after the training session. If you guys are unfamiliar, obviously research suggests that by statically stretching a muscle, right, by actually holding a muscle and putting it on length, reduces the amount of power that you can have when you're performing a particular type of movement. And while that's true, there's a reason being why you want to stretch particular muscles, what I believe. For instance, Darius is an athlete who I would add some in because he's particularly tight in a lot of different areas. He comes back from, the off season, and he has really tight hips because he may be not addressing them and all the work that he's doing, sitting in the classroom, all the football work he's doing. So there's certain muscles that I see might get overly tight on him that I'll want to address. Reason being is because, and actually I'll give you guys a resource. I highly suggest that you guys look up a gentleman named Vladimir Yanda and look up his approach. Essentially what his approach is about tonic and phasic muscles and how they create muscular imbalances. But if we take it a little bit further, tonic and phasic we can think of as tight and weak muscles, right? So you have a series of tight muscles, whether you're an athlete or even in the general population, that are generally common, and you have a series of weak muscles that don't necessarily get activated and are a little bit more dormant. Now, with Darius, and why I was doing that, what you guys should probably do if you're working with somebody or yourself in general, I knew, forecasting that we were going to be performing a lot of unilateral plyometrics. Now, for him, I did a series of, whether it be you're an athlete or whatever it might be, I did a series of stretches particularly to make sure that that movement in those unilateral jumps was not inhibited. So if he's performing some form of a unilateral jump, I don't want the adductors or abductors to be taking over and forcing him into bad movement patterns. So anytime that you have an athlete and that, in that you want to make them be able to perform the movement properly and keep them safe, static stretching before to really deaden that nervous system is an okay time to do that. Because what is the reason for all that power and strength in your training if it's out of a bad form or out of bad technique? So that's when I suggest dynamic stretches for him at this point were not something sufficient. So you want to go ahead and add something a little more static in to really try to lengthen that muscle, and he does it outside of here as well. This is the same type of thing where I see, like, say for instance, if I had somebody on a squat and they had really tight ankles, I'm going to have that particular athlete perform a static stretch throughout their ankles so that they can carry that over onto the squat. That's just another example. I hope that helps. I'll talk to you guys next time. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you're interested in becoming a better athlete, whether that be sprinting, jumping, strength, or overall looking like an athlete, go ahead and click the box here on my side and make sure that you subscribe to my videos here so I can keep sending them to you. Holler.